Good morning, students. Today I am discussing paper 3.2 Soft Skills for Business of 3rd semester BBA, Bangalore University, Unit number 1, Session 8, Cross Cultural Dimensions. Before discussing about cross cultural dimensions and the basic concepts, let us discuss let us recap what we have done in the last class. In the last class we had a discussion on meaning of business communication, importance of business communication, and related aspects. We had a discussion on the question and answer session. Today we are going to discuss cultural dimensions across the world. These cultural dimensions, how they give importance to verbal and non-verbal communication, how communication differs from one region to another region. In this part, cross-cultural dimension, part 1, we will be discussing the important areas, cultural diversities. In part 2, we will be discussing etiquettes. Now let us first understand culture before going to cross-cultural dimension. You can see the definition on the screen. Culture is the set of values, beliefs, eating habits, customs, dressing style, etc., that lead the people to define themselves as a distinct group. In other words, culture is the whole set of values, beliefs, eating habits, customs, dressing style. Even we can add customs, traditions, folkways, norms, taboos, medicine, type of education, etc. The norms and values that the people learn as a part of their culture shape their perceptions about the world and the way they interact with one another. That means culture shapes the personality of people. In every country, different cultures emerges. Depending upon their culture, the values that the culture gives them, the people shape themselves from childhood to puberty to adolescent age. From time to time, culture emerged in a particular society teaches the citizens of that society or community various aspects, as we have discussed there, like beliefs, eating habits, customs, dressing styles, that is going to make themselves a distinct group among other groups. There are so many examples for that. In United States, if somebody is, I'm just giving an example, if somebody is wearing a sari, putting a tika on the forehead and walking around, someone can easily make out that the person wearing the sari or having a tika on the forehead is an Indian, because the style of the dress indicates the culture. Sometimes the language that we speak, local language that we speak, clearly indicates that to which particular area we belong to. It is just a small example of culture, how it distinct oneself from others, how easily one can identify others with the help of culture. It is the identity of the nation. It is the identity of a group of people. It is the identity of a community. Wearing the turban, wearing a different type of dresses in different parts of the country, speaking one particular language, having a medicine of one type like acupuncture in China, Unani medicine in European and Arabian countries, allopathy in Asian countries, Ayurvedic in India. That is also a part of culture. Now, let us discuss cross-cultural dimensions or cultural diversities. You can see on the screen some of the cultural diversities. Following is the list of differences among different cultures that must be understood to have a proper understanding, to work properly. Let us discuss the first one, social customs. It varies from culture to culture. The customs vary from culture to culture, that every businessman or the aspirant who want to work in different parts of the country, different parts of different countries need to know. Take the example of for this, greetings in India, folding two hands and saying namaste. Greetings in Japan, bowing the head. Greetings in Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. United States, good morning, good afternoon, something like that. Social customs differ from one culture to another culture, and the person who is appointed in a multinational company which operates in different countries need to know these types of customs to adjust himself or herself to that particular custom. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to manage. Then the second one is style of dress. Style of dress today in most of the countries looks similar, especially in corporate world. The style of dress is the suit or the blazers with tie. Presently, the urban culture in most of the countries, in most of the parts of one country or in most of the countries has adopted their foreign cultures of wearing the suits and blazers, ignoring their original cultural dress style. Because when you see the dress style in cold countries, when you see the dress style in hot climatic countries, when you see the dress style in tropical areas, they are different. But in business world, wearing the blazer has emerged as a style of dress. To bring about uniformity and easy identity, the 24/7 multinational companies, be it a shopping mall or be it a transportation company, be it a airline, or let it be a multinational company which is working for knowledge processing or business processing, all have got uniforms, and they have made it one of the important aspect of discipline in the organization. Some of the organizations in India have made saris to the ladies as a style of dress, and some of the organizations have made the suits and blazers for male members as the style of dress. But style of dress matters. Style of dress matters because it signifies identity, it signifies uniformity, it signifies discipline. So the style of dress is very important today. The style of dress is very important today. The people who are willing to work in a place other than working place, other than their own place, should know the style of dress. Therefore, in most of the multinational companies, in the beginning itself, training is given to the selected candidates about time management, about style of dress, about other etiquettes, so that after joining the work, they should not have any problem in managing the work. In different countries, different cultures are emerging. As far as style of dress is concerned, in Malaysia, in Saudi Arabia, in United States, in United Kingdom, in European countries, but the most common style of dress, as I told you, is blazer with tie, the light colors. Let us take the next one, gender roles. See, today, gender roles is emerging as an important part in every part of our life. In America and European countries, women are supposed to play equal role in business or business related matters. But in Asian and Muslim countries, women themselves overlooked because of designated roles of gender. I don't want to give much explanation about this because each and every one of us know that in Asian and in most of the Muslim countries, the society is male dominated. The society is male dominated, and even today, one gender is struggling to make themselves equal to that of another gender. So one should know the role of particular gender in particular countries, because one might have developed themselves in one particular culture, and if they see the different type in another culture, there may be a confusion or there may be a problem in adjusting themselves. Therefore, the person or one as a responsible person need to know the different gender roles that people are playing in across the world. Then the next one is religion and values. See, as we know that this world is full of different religions, and each religion has different value system, and based on that value system their work culture is developed. That means to say that the Western countries believe that if someone work hard and achieve success, one will find favor in the eyes of God. In socialistic countries, creating more jobs is considered than getting the work done efficiently. This is the value. Therefore, one should know the religion and values of different countries so that they can adjust themselves properly. The next one is concept of time. See, the concept of time differs from one country to another country. Take the example of USA or German executive who attaches one meeting to time, whereas executive from Latin America or Japan attaches another meaning. See, a time in the eyes of an executive of Germany or USA is considered to be one thing, but Japan, the executive from Japan attaches another meaning. I will give one small example of the importance given by Japanese to the concept of time. See, usually we study inventory management. In inventory management, different techniques are available to manage the stock of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. In Japan, they follow just-in-time technique, wherein they keep the stock less than a week, be it raw material, work in progress, or finished goods. They immediately dispose of all the goods and services within a week. They do not keep the stock or inventory for a long time. They give importance to time. In 2 or 3 minutes, they manufacture a car of 14 to 15 lakh rupees. They give importance to time. But so is not the case with that of time when we take into the consideration of some other countries in the world. Next concept is body language. This is very interesting concept wherein people from different cultures have different gestures, have different postures, have different facial and eyes expressions. In most of the countries, especially the Western countries, eye contact as a body language play a very important role in organizing, conducting or managing any business activity. So, the body language of expressions, the body language of greetings, the body language of showing the acceptance, aggressiveness, honesty, dishonesty, disagreement, agreement, acceptance, rejection, etc. is different from one country to another country. So one should know the body language of that particular different countries so that it becomes familiar to them whenever they go and they join the particular organization for job. If the organization belongs to that particular culture or that particular country, then decision making customs. Decision making in most of the Asian and Muslim countries, especially when it comes to the financial matters, when it comes to the important matters in the organization or in the houses, as we can say, lies with males. Usually in India also the case is same. If they want to purchase a car, women will not go and order the car. Instead, the male member in the house is given the responsibility. But when some materials of kitchen or interior decoration are to be purchased, the decision lies with the female members in the family in India. So is the case in most of the Muslim countries and Asian countries. But decision making customs differs from one culture to another culture. In USA and UK, many organizations are controlled by single persons who say yes or no to every deal. Either it is yes or no. No discussions. Whereas in China and Japan, decision making is the shared responsibility and no individual has the authority to commit the organization without consulting each other. I think the first one is authoritarian. The latter one is diplomatic. Decision making is an important activity where the investment of valuable resources of the organization are going to be invested, or any decision for that matter might be investment decision, financing decision, budgeting decision, or any decision for that matter, one should take the opinion of their other resources or the people who are working in other departments. But this is not the case in all the countries. As I told you, US and UK it is different. In China and Japan it is different. In fact, in our country also, the responsibility is shared. These days in almost all the organization, whether it is public or private, others' opinion are considered before taking any decision. So, cross-cultural dimension is the emerging trend today because in one organization, we can see the people with white skin, people with black skin, the people with fair skin, the human resources who are very tall, the human resources who are medium in height, the human resources who are very short, the human resources who speaks different languages, who has different food habits, who has different dress style, who belongs to different cultures. This multinational culture today in the organization has brought or has ignited or is demanding each and every one of us to know the cross-cultural dimensions. Therefore, the growing international business demands that people around the world involved international business should know the cultural diversities to be successful in terms of the social customs, style of dress, gender roles, religion and values, concept of time, body language, decision making customs, etc. So cross cultural dimension relating to these few points we have discussed today, the meaning of culture, cross cultural diversities, and how they are important, why we need to know in this corporate culture wherein people from different countries work in one particular place. We need to know, understand, follow these cross-cultural diversities to adjust ourselves to be the successful person within an organization or outside an organization. Then, in the next class, we are going to discuss the cross-cultural dimensions part 2. So, till then, I am signing off. Go through the questions, MCQ questions, go through the descriptive questions and the study materials given. Refer to the other study materials to know more and know better. Till then, take care, stay home, stay safe.